Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting of, what's the date?
28th.
April 28th. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast by local access programming and with remote participation available as provided on our agenda. Is there anyone here who's recording this meeting? Seeing none, I hereby call the meeting to order at 6:33. I'll have a roll call of members, please.
Jim Thorne.
Brendan Doyle.
Kate Thompson.
Mike Greco.
Josiah Birch.
And Mark Muncham, everybody's here. All right, first item on our agenda is meeting minutes. I don't know if anyone has had a chance to look at the meeting minutes. Let's just push this back till the end of the meeting. If we have time, we'll do it. We'll look at them then together.
Okay.
New business. 6:30 p.m. public meeting. Request for determination of applicability for Kimberly Sinclair, 68 Birch Street or Birch Hill Road. Septic repair, map 284, lot 25. I'll open the meeting. Is anyone here representing?
All set?
All right, sure.
Okay, sure. Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing Kimberly Sinclair regarding a septic repair, 68 Birch Hill Road. Just to get your bearings, this is going down Birch Hill Road, almost to the bottom. It's an existing house there with a failed septic system. We're just replacing it with a new Presby system. Small lots, 100 feet by 100 feet. So the erosion control is right there at the property limits. Typical Wallen Lake terrace, we got the wells, we got the high groundwater, we got the wetlands. So all those things we had to take into consideration. And so really the only place I could fit in a septic is right here on the side of the house. It's a raised system. It's within the 100-foot buffer zone. It's outside the 50-foot well radius. And so the reason this thing had to be raised a couple extra feet is because of the well radius. You can't get away with the groundwater if you're within 100 feet of the well.
Okay. So the system is how many feet from the wetland?
The system itself is about 80 feet from the wetland. Here's the 50-foot buffer zone. Wetlands are down here on others' property. So if I go from the system, now the grading's probably about 70 feet from the wetland.
Mm-hmm.
Erosion control is probably about 65 feet.
Okay.
There's really nowhere else on this lot that this system can go because of the wells and the wells. I got a well across the street here, so there's that 100-foot radius. I have to try to stay 10 feet away from the property line. I'm 10.5 feet. And then I got to stay outside the 50 foot of the wetland, and here's my well. So I'm right at 50 foot. So this is really the only built window I have for septic that meets Title V.
It could not have gone any closer to Birch Hill Road, is what you're saying?
No, because I got a well right across the street. There's a house over here, and here's that 100-foot radius for that well. And here's my 50-foot radius for this well. If I push it any further up this way, I'm going to encroach that 50-foot radius.
And where is the existing septic? And what is the existing septic?
It is in this general area right here. I've got a tank right here, and I'm assuming it's over here. We haven't dug it up yet. Somewhere in this general vicinity. Back then, probably just a pipe and stone system that's probably half the size of that. Right in the groundwater, because this is a raised system. So we have groundwater at 30 feet, so you know it's in the groundwater.
So this should be a big improvement.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Any questions from any of the board members?
Yeah, what's a Presby system? What you mentioned?
Presby and viral septic, I call them, they're these round plastic tubes, and they're, actually, you put them in like I call like a big snake. They go back and forth, back and forth. So the wastewater comes in, and then just goes
Okay.
through those tubes. And actually, I've put in hundreds of these, never have a problem. And what's nice about them is you have a little more flexibility with these types of systems than you do the regular conventional pipe and stone, because you can make them all sorts of different configurations. And plus, it allows you to get waivers to groundwater. And usually I could do 2 feet to groundwater if I wasn't within that 100-foot well radius. But because that got kicked in, I have to stay 4 feet above groundwater. So that's why it's raised, and that's why I have a wall here, just to catch the grading, so I'm not grading up to the house.
Was this previously pumped, or was it just gravity?
Gravity. Well, years ago, especially down there in the terrace, I've done a lot of them down there. You know, the groundwater's at 2 to 3 feet, and a lot of them are just cesspools. And cesspools are just 10 feet deep, and they'll work forever, you know, until you go to sell the house, and then the system fails.
Okay. Any comments from anybody in the audience? Anybody on Zoom that would like to comment? Do we need any other information? Anybody be okay with what we're getting?
You have any?
Yeah, I do have a couple pictures if you wanted to see. It is all within existing lawn. As Margaret said, it's all within the buffer zone. So we didn't really have any comments for it, but we recommend a negative determination for this one. The only thing I will say, the plan that Margaret has is an updated plan compared to what we have, because the well was moved slightly, I think it's to the east, I can't see the north arrow here, to the east from what you're looking at here. So hers is the most updated.
Originally, I was told the well was over here. Well, I actually went out and located it with a metal detector. So I had moved the well, which moved the 50-foot radius. So that just pushed it over to the property line. So instead of being 12 feet away from the property line, I'm 10 feet.
But it's all within the same limit of work, so I don't see any issues with that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just curious where you are. I can't find that on my...
It's in the
These septic
first
repairs
group.
in town and in surrounding towns. And, you know,
If you want to take it
you know,
for a
the outer,
Keep going.
outer 100-foot buffer zone or stuff, you know, is the an RDA, I guess, because I have more coming, you know, and just like the...
On the next page.
Hate to file an RDA and then get a positive
That's it, right there.
determination, and then I got to come back and do a notice of intent, because this isn't changing no matter what I do.
It's here,
you know.
this way.
It's just paperwork, and this just saves the homeowner some money, you know. So going forward, I'd like to be able to, just trying to get a feel from the commission. RDAs would be acceptable for typical septic repairs.
I mean, speaking for myself, not for the board, I mean, yes, typically septic repairs can be looked upon as an RDA. If you want to come and meet with us informally before you do your filing, just to, to see if that is how the direction that you should go, then you're welcome to do that. But yeah, I would say generally, I would say a request for determination of applicability is the avenue to take.
I ask us, every town's a little different.
Right. Right. As you said, they're pretty common in Douglas.
Right.
And, I mean, certainly a repair is something, it's being done because there's an issue.
Correct.
And it's better to correct the issue.
Big improvement.
Absolutely. No clearing being done for this, correct?
Pretty much all in the lawn.
Okay.
There might be a little brush along the edge, but no trees.
Any conditions? Anybody have any thoughts on that? No?
Seems pretty straightforward on this one.
All right. Someone want to make a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to close the public hearing. Those in favor, or roll call vote?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mongemi.
So is it going to be a negative determination? So I'll make a motion to do a negative determination to approve for the septic repair for 68 Birch Hill Road, map 284, lot 25.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to issue a negative determination of applicability. Roll call vote for that?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mongem, aye. Thank you, Margaret. All right. Next up is 6:30 PM, another request for determination of applicability, public meeting. Eric Simpson, 20 Old Carriage Lane, an in-ground hot tub, map 196, lot 10. Do you want to waive the reading of the public meeting notice?
Make a motion to waive the public meeting notice.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to waive the reading of the public meeting notice. Roll call vote?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mongem, aye. Meeting is now open. Is someone here to represent?
Hi,
Hi there. State your
I'm-
name.
Eric Simpson, 20 Old Carriage Lane. I'm representing myself today.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm here, I usually do a presentation for these, but it doesn't look like you have a connection, so I'll just wing it in the interest of time. I'm here for RFD or RDA for a proposed in-ground hot tub in the backyard area. As a note of background, the house was developed in 2012 as part of an overall development of Old Carriage and Cobblestone. At that point, it extended, the lawn area was permitted to extend partially into the 100-foot buffer from the wetlands in the back. In 2020, I guess in 2020, September 2020, the previous owner filed an RDA and received a negative determination for the installation of an above-ground pool, an expansion of the deck in the back, and the construction of the deck about 25 feet off of the edge of the clearing in the lawn as part of an above-ground pool installation. They started that work in 2021. They never finished it. They moved out in January of 2022. I moved in February. I don't know if you remember, we got 3 feet of snow that day, the day after I moved in. But when the snow all melted, and I have a photo here of the old days, but don't need to show it to you. There was an above-ground pool that was partially constructed. The electrical was not connected. The entire area surrounding the pool was left undeveloped, ungraded, and there was no silt fencing on it. I installed silt fencing. This is what I do for a living, to stabilize it until the spring. I stabilized it, I finished the patio, I finished the deck, and I removed the pool. That's how we got to this point. In 2024, I filed a building permit for the town to install a shed. The building department asked me to position it in a certain spot based on setbacks from the house. I did. In March of 2024, this commission granted an approval that's in the record that I have. I only mention this because when Brandon folks came out to look at the site, there were concerns about both the patio and the shed. I didn't consider those germane because the patio was covered under the 2020 RDA negative determination. The shed, I already had a building permit with a printout, I have a copy of it, that was approved by this commission. So I didn't think those were germane, but I know that that was a point that they wanted me to discuss. What I'm proposing is simply a 6-foot by 8-foot excavation to 5.5 feet. It's much closer to the house than the original pool was constructed. It's right on the 100-foot buffer. There's 2 trenches that would be proposed, one for propane lines to the back of the garage and one for the plumbing to the back of the shed. And it's basically, that's the proposal. What I would propose to do for the soil, there's going to be surplus soil. I'll test it under similar soils and send it off-site. Ewing's Construction is doing the work. I'm an LSP, so I have to stamp these things anyway. But that's the whole plan. I would basically regrade at the end. If the grade wouldn't change, there's no clearing, it's all on the lawn. So super boring.
Okay.
That's my request.
We have a plan in our folder that shows a 30-foot pool.
Yes.
I'm not seeing anything that shows where you're proposing to put.
That was in my
the-
filing. So the 30-foot pool is from the old RFD,
I assume that, yeah.
and I had a separate map showing that in my filing. This gentleman has it next to me.
Do you see it?
Is that yellow little box?
I don't see the one with the pool and the hot tub. Is that what you're looking for, Mark?
The pool and the hot tub?
No, that's just the tub.
Oh, right here.
There's no pool. The pool's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is the 100-foot line here?
Yeah. It's right there.
It's right on, okay.
I could not tell you that it's not within 100 feet. It looks pretty darn close, but
Yeah.
without a full survey.
Okay. I see it now, yep. I have an
Okay.
aerial photograph,
Yes.
and it shows the wetland buffer line and the wetland.
It's a pretty small, it's only 6 foot by 10. It's not a,
Right,
you know.
right.
Why does the plumbing trench go in the direction it goes rather than just going direct to the hot tub?
It goes from the tub back to the back of the shed because that's where there's a heater and a pump.
Oh, got it.
And I
Okay.
didn't want it in the middle of the yard. And right behind the house, I have a propane line and I have an electric line, so I didn't want to put it there. So,
So the shed is kind of at the corner of the, got it.
yeah.
This is the shed here?
It's not really well shown. That's the old shed. There's a newer shed that goes pretty much right where the boat is. But I drew the lines to where.
Okay, yeah, all right. Got it, thank you.
Sam, did you take a look at this?
Yeah, so I'll bring up the pictures that I have, so you guys can see that. As far as the hot tub goes, it's about right on the 100-foot buffer zone line, and it's all within existing lawn, so we don't see any issues with the hot tub. We recommend a negative determination for the hot tub. What happened was, when we went out to the site and when we were discussing it after, we saw the patio, saw the shed, and they're about a little bit closer to the wetland, if around the same area as where the hot tub was proposed. So that kind of spiraled questions from us as to, did these things get approved prior to this? Which is when we saw the determination of applicability from 2020. Now, as Mr. Simpson stated, that was pre-approved for the pool, a deck around the pool, and I believe the extension of the deck that you can see in this photo to the left there. That work was never done. Under the RDA, it says deck. So this was one of our other things. The stone patio, the wording wasn't there for a stone patio in that RDA approved in 2020. So it could be slightly different than what was originally proposed. And then the shed, also as Mr. Simpson stated, got approved by, he got a building permit for it, and it was at the time checked off by the representative from the commission who checked that off. Now, looking at it now, Brandon kind of did an overlay of the site plan and the approximate wetland line. The shed as it's built currently, which I have photos here. So here's the new shed. The shed as it's built currently seems from the approximate photos that it would come into the 100-foot buffer zone slightly. So our whole point with this was not to necessarily give Mr. Simpson a hard time with this, but if we could include everything into this determination, just to kind of keep everything together for the future going forward for his property.
Don't hit that. I think your thumb hit that. Don't.
Oh, just muted that. So just to kind of, if the shed is within the buffer zone, just to keep everything together in the same application. The other thing which I hadn't mentioned to Mr. Simpson, because I didn't even notice it until Brandon noticed it today when we were looking at the pictures, was this chain link fence back here as well. He wants, just if we can just include that as well in this RDA, just so we cover everything.
That fence was installed by the previous owner. They never finished it. I hate it, but I haven't dug it up or dealt with it. It is absolutely within the 100-foot buffer, and if I had my way, I'd get rid of it, but it's on the to-do list because it's an ugly chain link fence.
So, I mean, you have the full capability of approving a negative RDA, and we can add conditions to that, just to say in writing that the patio, the shed, the chain link fence are all included along with this proposed soak tub. So that's what we're recommending for this. You can see the topography slopes down, and down into the woods is where the wetland is over here. So I have some pictures kind of, I'm not at the wetland line here looking up, I'm still a little bit closer, but you can see the chain link fence right there, and this just gives you a general idea of what it looks like in that area. The topography is pretty steep, and then it goes right down to the wetland. So other than that, we don't have any more comments. Our recommendation is just to keep everything together and add it to this RDA.
How do we go about adding it?
So you can, when you vote on it, and you can say we approve this negative determination of applicability, you can say it verbally for the hot tub, for the new shed layout, as well as the stone patio and the fence, just to say it on the record. And then when I go and I do the actual determination of applicability, I can type it in to that specific spot where I check the box that says a negative.
So it'll be new shed, the patio.
Yep, so the stone patio, the new shed,
Yep,
the chain link fence,
yep.
and then the jacuzzi or the hot tub. And then the hot tub's already included in this
Yeah.
anyway, but just to include those other 3 items.
So we're going to include the chain link fence?
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not he
I
wants
was
to
going to
remove
say
it?
I'd like
No,
to remove it.
can we
but-
remove it? Can we,
I just don't want to pay to
Can-
remove it right now. That's my
Yeah.
it's a
Then you
financing
gotta-
issue more
you
than
have to
we
include-
condition it that it be removed? You have time to do so. I mean, you
Yeah,
have
we
3
could-
years, I think, for,
You could definitely, we could condition it to remove it if he's going to remove it, but.
Or should I come back? I mean, if I change my mind or,
It's like
I mean, it's
the
there.
chairman said, it's 3 years.
yeah.
Yeah. Get 3 years.
Oh, that's fine.
So we could write in it, you have 3 years to remove the chain link fence or something along those lines, just to get the wording in there.
I'd rather include the condition that you remove it than you have to come back
Oh, okay.
to remove it.
I was just thinking if I change my mind for some reason. I don't know. I hate the fence, it looks ugly, but
Well, then you have to come back.
Yes.
One way or another, you'd have to.
I have to come
Yeah,
back.
you don't-
If you-
Nah, we'll remove it then.
You don't take it out.
Yeah, no, we'll put in there that you have up to 3 years to
Okay.
remove it, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, that's what a
That'll keep-
typical order conditions is, so I'm thinking that's probably a good time frame for a condition as well.
Okay.
And then if you decide you want to keep it, you just have to come back.
He would have to come back and file for it, correct?
Okay.
Does that work for you then?
Sure. It's ugly. It's, they tend to be.
Any comments from anybody in the audience regarding the proposal? Anybody on Zoom want to make any comments? No one?
You have to close the hearing or no?
Anybody, yeah.
Oh.
If you guys are ready, you want to close the public hearing? A public meeting?
Make a motion to close the public? I don't even need to do that, you can just do it, right?
I can. I'll close the public meeting. Anybody want to make a motion on this RDA?
Sure. I'll make a motion for a negative determination for the hot tub, to also include the new shed, the stone patio, the chain link fence to be removed, and you have up to 3 years for, 20 Old Carriage Lane, map 196, lot 10.
Second?
Seconded by Mike. Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Mike to issue a negative request for determination of applicability, but to also add to that negative determination the stone patio, the shed, and that the chain link fence will be removed within 3 years. All those in favor?
Jim Foreign,
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mongemai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to new business item number 3, 6:30 PM, request for determination of applicability, public meeting for Alice and John Stapleton, 25 Joseph Road, Dangerous Tree, map 164, lot 9.13. You want to make a motion to waive the public hearing
Make a motion to waive the public hearing.
notification?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to waive the public hearing notification. All those in favor?
Jim Foreign,
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mongemai. I will now open the public meeting.
Hi,
Hi there.
my name is Jack Stapleton. I live at 25 Joseph Road. My wife Alice is here as well.
Okay?
We appeared about a year or so ago. We had bought the house, had the house built, 15, 16 months ago. And we appeared here before you, most of you, because there was a lot of trees behind our house. We actually bought that house. Our daughter lives across the street. We could have moved in the house next door. Not a single tree in the lot. It shows the house with the backyard with all kinds of trees in a brook. And after a number of months, we did have a tree company come by, and we pointed out the one. There was a lot of damage, a lot of dead branches, and there appeared to be some dead trees as well. So when we appeared last year before you, we did receive permission to go ahead and have the dead branches trimmed from some of the trees, and a couple of dead trees removed as well. At the time, the biggest tree in the property, which is probably one of the biggest trees, 100 feet or so in size, we're told, is a pine tree. Last year, one of the arborists thought it might be okay, and give it another year or so, see how it looks. But he came back this year. The tree is, at one time, a hunter's stand, and it has a lot of wooden boards nailed into it. They probably go up 40, 50, 60 feet. Don't hold me to any estimate, please. And then in the photos as well, you'll see that what appears to be a metal piece that's wrapped around the tree as well, probably for a tree stand. There's also a lot of barbed wire below the tree. The brook runs anywhere from 50 to 150 so feet, pretty close to this tree, which is about 20 feet off the back of a house, maybe 30 tops, and close to our neighbors as well. But they used to use that. There's a trail that runs along the brook that's a deer trail, so they must have hunted deer there before. But having that on that tree, the tree looks worse this year. We've had a second company come by, second arborist, who said the same thing. I think the tree is dead or dying. And because of the size of it and where it's placed, if it comes down, it's going to cause a lot of damage to our property or to our neighbor's property. We'd just as soon not take it down. These tree removals, of course, are expensive. So you don't, we didn't realize how much money we spend on these issues when we bought the house. We didn't realize what we had for trees in the backyard. But I think the trees speak for themselves. I wasn't home Thursday, but I understand you came by.
Yep.
Thank you. You have photos, I suspect.
Yep.
And we're just looking for permission to have this tree taken down before it falls on our house and causes hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage or somebody else's, our next door neighbors. That's why we're here. I'd like to think the tree kind of, strike that, I think the photo speaks for itself. The arborists have pointed out that all the pines in the area are dark green, healthy looking. This one, not the case at all. A lot less in terms of leafing. Light green color, not dark green. You can see from the photo, that's a pretty good photo right here. All the wood planks going up it. If you go up even higher, you'll see where that piece of metal is.
I have a different picture, I think, shows.
I had to take 3 photos because of the size of the tree. And you can see right there the difference between that tree and the other one. I would suggest, respectfully. The arborists say, too, that when you put a piece of metal in like that, it's the kiss of death to a tree. All the, this is what they told me, all the nutrients and water sources go down the outside of the tree. So that was going to come down because of that. It was going to die because of that. You can see how close it is to the house as well. And that's not our neighbor's house. It shows the background. That house is 2 down. There's a house, you can just barely see the
Right.
roof line of that next house and how close it is as well.
What'd you see out there, Sam? Anything
So-
particular?
Nothing in particular. I'm not an arborist myself, but I would agree that in the white pines that I have seen, this one does not look good. As was stated, there's a chain that I kind of showed before, kind of going around the tree, and the tree is almost engulfed it at this point. A lot of the boards going up the tree as well. We're probably within the 100-foot buffer zone of the wetland down at the bottom of the hill. You can see it in this picture. And then we're within the 200-foot riverfront area, but in this case, with a dangerous tree like that, that's very close to the house, and it's an extremely tall tree, we recommend a negative determination to allow them to take the tree down. The only thing we had said was typically we like to require an arborist letter from a licensed arborist, preferably on formal letterhead stating the reasons, and that they go into the reasons with the roots, whatever it may be, what is the reason for the tree needing to come down. I had gone back and forth with Mr. Stapleton, and we got the arborist to write out, it's in your packet there.
Yeah.
We got the arborist to kind of write out something, and then he signed it and gave his license number. So in this case, because it's this dangerous of a tree and it's that close to the house, we would accept that. I think in the future, we'd prefer to have it on a letterhead.
Okay.
But that's the comments we have on that.
We would leave the stump, of course, as well.
Yep.
So,
Yes, the stump will be left, which is good.
Then we doesn't have to
The
pull it.
slope is pretty steep going down.
Is that saying you can do this stuff, right?
No, I don't think that's what that means. Because they're all,
Oh,
so I don't think that means that that's what they're going to do.
okay.
Okay, thank you. I don't have a problem with it. I don't,
No,
you have any problem?
we're good.
All right.
Isn't, just one question, isn't Joseph Road going to be accepted by the town coming up?
Yeah, we came to a meeting here
So-
probably 6 weeks ago. Why, think they do it? Take the tree down for us? Is that a,
no.
that's an affirmation? Affirmation, yeah?
No.
No? No,
But
but you're right.
I heard that
Yeah, there's some
it's going to be
transaction.
on the town meeting.
It's on the town meeting warrant, yes, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah, we were here like 6 weeks ago, so they appeared the first year about that process, so they are in the process now.
Yeah, that'd be good for
Yeah,
plowing.
they've been pretty good about plowing, we can't complain about that.
Any comments from anyone in the audience? Or on Zoom? Then I'll close this public hearing, public meeting. Want to make a motion for negative determination of applicability?
I will make a motion for a negative determination of applicability for 25 Joseph Road for the tree map 164, lot 9.13, and to also leave the stump.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Mike for negative determination and that the stump must remain. All those in favor?
Jim Farr, aye?
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mongemai. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Do we have to wait to get something in the mail? Because I would plan on calling the company tomorrow and try to get them out right away because of the size of the tree and the danger. Do we wait for something, or can we act at this time?
We'll get it out to you right away. So it'll get to you by the end of this week, if not tomorrow.
All right, so I can call tomorrow and ask him?
Yeah, I would call Jen at the town hall, just make sure, see if she got it or not. I'll try to get it out to her tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, you got some signatures over there.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
All right, item number 4 on our agenda is 6:30 PM, request for determination of applicability, public meeting for the Town of Douglas Water and Sewer Department, Davis and Monroe Streets right-of-way. No map or lot number is applicable to this. Do you want to waive the
Yep, make a
reading of the
motion
public
to waive the public meeting notification.
Second.
Motion's made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to waive the public hearing notice. All those in favor?
Jim Farr, aye?
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco,
Josiah Bircheye.
Mark Mungimai. It's now open. Name and address, please.
Robert Manerick, Town of Douglas Economic Development, and I believe Michelle from Stantec is on Zoom.
Are you there, Michelle?
I am. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear and/or see me?
Both, yes.
Hi, Bob. Thank you. Do you want to give an introduction, or do you want me to jump right into the presentation?
I'd like you to jump right in.
Absolutely. Okay, well, by way of formal introduction, I'm Michelle Simoneau. I am from Stantec Consulting, Senior Associate Professional Wetland Scientist, and the permitting specialist on this project. I have some visuals to share with you, if that's okay. I'll request to share.
You're all set.
Alrighty, thank you. Okay, you can see my screen here. So I am here on behalf of the Town of Douglas Water and Sewer Commission. This project is for the Davis Street and Monroe Street project, which includes upgrades to both water and sewer utilities in the form of pipe replacements, as well as the extension of utility lines. I'll get into a little bit more detail, but I just want to set the stage and show you where the project area is. Stantec did delineate the wetlands and within the project footprint, and we have bordering vegetated wetland, we have perennial streams with inland bank, mean annual high water line, which sets the riverfront area. We had those surveyed and they're presented on our plans that we submitted with the RDA. In this case, the applicant proposes to upgrade the existing municipal water main on Davis Street, and I have my visual up here from just southeast of the entrance to the high school to the southeast to just about 200 feet west of the Uxbridge town line, which is down here. So this is twofold. It's both water and sewer. So I just want to show you this to show you where the dividing line is. And then also on Monroe Street, from the intersection with North Main Street to the intersection with Davis. Then the new water and sewer line runs this whole length. What we did here on this USGS map is there's I'll explain in a second, there's a black line here which differentiates, because part of what we're doing with this filing is it's a notification for exempt activities, as well as the filing of the RDA for non-exempt activities. So we're just showing you here that this portion of the water line is just strictly maintenance. It's an upgrade of the line in the same footprint. It's maintenance, it's not the extension portion. And then the rest is the replacement and extension.
Where is the maintenance portion again?
The maintenance, sure. You see this black line here? That kind of runs perpendicular to Monroe, right here. You can see my cursor okay? So
yeah.
This portion is the strictly maintenance exemption.
Which portion, which side of that?
I'm sorry?
Which side of that line is maintenance?
The northern side.
Thank you.
Up here. Yeah, sorry if you can't see my cursor very well. It's right here. Okay.
No, I get a glare, I'm sorry.
All right, switching over to plans just to show you a little bit more detail. So the water main upgrades include the replacement of the existing water main from an 8-inch cast iron water main to a 12-inch ductile iron water main, the ICL, and also the installation of new copper service connections to properties from the water main, and additionally the installation of new box hydrants. Now, the sewer system upgrades include installation oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So the package that we submitted to you, I want to back up a minute and just mention this because this kind of sets the stage for the filing. The purpose of the filing was really threefold. One was to notify you that this work is within your jurisdiction, but the majority of it is exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act and the bylaw for minor activities within the riverfront area specifically. And then also to notify you that the exemption for filing the notice of intent for activities that are exempt because they're for the purposes of maintenance, repair, and replacement, but not substantial change or enlargement of an existing lawfully located utility. So that's what we have here in underground utilities. And then thirdly, to file the RDA for portions of the project beyond the limits of the roadways and the driveways. There are a couple of locations where installation of the box hydrants and some of the service connections for the water main probably wouldn't strictly be considered maintenance because they're new connections. So that's why we filed the RDA. For water main, let me get into, so these plans here, we do have two separate key plans to show you the water improvement key plan, water improvement plans, as well as the sanitary sewer plans, so that you can differentiate between the work, though the process for the work is very similar. We just present it on plans so that you can see clearly what's happening and where. So scrolling down a little bit, the water main installation will occur primarily within the roadways of Davis and Monroe Street. In terms of the actual work that's going to be taking place, the water main will be survey located and pavement will be cut to allow for the excavation, and they'll cut down approximately 5 feet to create the water main trench. We do have details of this in our package, which I can switch over to in a minute. And then compacted crushed stone will be placed down in the trench at the bottom, and the new 12-inch ductile iron water main will be placed. Then it will be backfilled, and the road will be regraded in kind, repaved in kind. The 1-inch copper water service connections to the properties will all be installed about the same time as the trenches, as the new water main. And the fire hydrants will be located beyond the edge of the paved areas and as far away from the wetlands as feasible. I'll just page through. I don't know if you'd like me to highlight anything specifically. This is a very linear project, so it covers a lot of ground. There are a lot of wetlands, so there's a lot of overlapping buffer zones, overlapping riverfront areas, and we presented this on the plan. I apologize. I have a foster pup, and I don't know if you can hear it, but she's making quite a ruckus, so I apologize if there are any distractions on your end.
I can't hear him.
Nope.
Oh, good, okay. Oh, boy, I can. So I'm a little bit distracted by her, I apologize. So basically, the same process will happen with the sewer portion of the project. And for that, the main difference is that it will be replaced by an 8-inch PVC sewer line, and it will be placed along the road with manholes for access, backfilled, and then, of course, the roadway will be repaired and repaved. We have best management practices built into the whole project. It's designed to avoid state and locally jurisdictional areas. We actually tweaked locations of some of the hydrants to just either get out of a buffer zone or move it further away from a resource area. We do propose the installation of sedimentation control using compost filter tubes between the disturbed areas and the roadway, the limited work of the roadway. We've got installation of silt sacks in the existing catch basins within the project limits. And then the trenches will be closed. Any trenches within the 100-foot buffer zone or 200-foot riverfront area will be closed at the end of each workday per the criteria for maintenance exemptions. And in terms of restoration, when all is said and done with the project, the loam and the seed, any areas that were disturbed during the project will be loamed and seeded, and to promote stabilization and regrowth of the grass and vegetation. In terms of the project schedule, I understand that that will be determined once it goes out to bid, but I'll defer to Bob on the details of that. Bob, do you have any information about the project schedule or duration?
Well, right now, we're still in the design phase with Stantec. There's a $350,000 site readiness grant. We're almost at the end of it. This is the last piece of the puzzle to close out that grant. Then we have 3 years for construction. This is basically designing, putting something on paper to get water sewer up to at least Legacy Circle for development in that area. Right now, nobody will even talk to us unless there's water sewer there. So this is just getting ahead of the game to get economic development within that industrial zone area. Like Michelle said, the water line ends at the high school. We're extending it all the way to within 200 feet of the Uxbridge town line, with the theory that there could be an intertown connection at that point. So we're setting ourselves up for that possibility. Uxbridge has poor quality pressure in that area on their end of the town. We can help them out with an intertown connection. Again, that's in that will be a discussion during bidding process. The sewer line will only go a little beyond Legacy Circle. The grades allow us to do gravity up to that point. We told Stantec, go as far as you can gravity, end it at that point, and then it's a pump station, any further activity. That's not part of this plan. It's just the water all the way to Douglas. Like Michelle said, Monroe, there's existing pipe above the black line, north of the black line, south is all new pipe. And that's to create a loop. Bob Sullivan is big on loops so we don't have stagnant water within a pipe. It's always coming in from 2 directions. As far as construction,
Bob, I'm sorry.
As far as construction, that's anybody's guess right now. This is the first thing we have to do is get it designed and get it ready for bid.
Thank you, Bob.
And this has been a 2-year process already.
Sure.
And I was just going to add that I have up on my screen here the intersection with Northeast Main Street, the section that Bob was just referring to on Monroe Street, where it will be, where it's just an upgrade, a maintenance upgrade from 8-inch, that is the water main, from 8-inch to 12-inch. This section here. And then beyond that, it's the new line.
And as you know, we just did Northeast Main Street, and there is a T with a 12-inch stub going up Monroe already in anticipation of this.
Did you say that the line that goes by the school is 8-inch?
12.
Oh, I thought it was 8-inch at the school.
No, it's all 12 up to the high school and then it dead ends.
Both lines will be within the roadway, is that correct?
Correct. Opposite sides of the road, water sewer separation.
And paving curb to curb?
That's the plan. It'll probably be a regrind, reclaim, just like we're doing out here in Depot Street in June.
Isn't that a state road?
That's a very good question. The section from the intersection of Northeast Main to the elementary school, if you look on the state map, it's a state road. The town says, no, that's a town road. Beyond my pay grade.
You find out when you start digging.
Yeah. Well, we just dug up part of it to put in the Northeast Main, that intersection. That was, that area was the state road. And nobody said anything.
Yeah, for someone who just asked the questions about opposite side of the road, I've zoomed in a little bit so you can see where each of the lines are respectively. So here's the 8-inch PVC. new sewer, and then the water main is up here on the north side of the road. It's just faded back because these are sewer plans. And then compost filtered food along here to protect the wetlands during construction. I don't know if there are any other specific details that you would like to see.
Do you have a detail on restoration, the topsoiling, seeding, and mulching?
I really don't know if we included that this time. Oh, we do have that. Usually we do comprehensive restoration plans when there's, significant alteration. But yeah, we do have a lawn seed restoration detail here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Specified seed, hay mulch where required, 6 inches of loam.
I would like to see a better mulch than a hay mulch. I mean, hay is not really used for mulch. Straw mulch would be better than hay, but even a hydro mulch or fiber matrix mulch of some kind. We don't know when this is going to be done. We don't know the schedule. We don't know what time of year it's going to happen. So we just want to, that's where we could get runoff into wetlands. That's where I would like to see protection, better protection.
Are you talking the hay mulch just in that detail?
That's all we have for detail. It says hay mulch where required.
Yeah, Bob, I'm not sure if the specifications have been done yet. I don't want to cause a conflict, but doesn't seem like that would be any issue to just change that out. We do use straw mulch as well on projects.
Now, this detail is only would be for the hydrants and the connections, not necessarily the road.
Right, this is along the edge of the road where there's disturbance along the edge of the road.
For the
So,
copper connections and stone hydrants.
yeah, and really, I mean, we only have jurisdiction on where, where you're within the buffer zone, so, but that's where I would like to have the detail strengthened a little bit in terms of protection of the soil after it's loamed.
And we could write that in the specs as well. The bid document. You make a note of that, Michelle?
Absolutely, got it.
Any comments from commission members on this? Zion? Anybody in the audience have any comments on it? No? Anybody on Zoom other than Michelle?
I see Bob Sullivan just joined.
What's Bob have to say?
I don't have any comments. I signed in a little late here, so I didn't really hear what you were going over yet.
That's okay. We just wanted to hear your voice, that's all, Bob.
Thanks.
Yeah, does Samantha have any comments?
So, as Michelle covered most of it. The maintenance and installation of the underground utilities is exempt as far as your bylaw goes in the Wetlands Protection Act. So it's those, she said box hydrants, and then some of the copper piping that's off the road is what's under this RDA, basically.
Services.
Yep. So we recommend a negative determination for that. We feel that it's minor in nature and it wouldn't need a notice of intent, so. that's what we have.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All right. I'm going to close the public meeting. And I would suggest that we,
Add in the fiber mulch.
yeah, do a negative determination of applicability
Yep.
with a condition that the specification or typical detail for the loam and seed restoration be improved on for the buffer zone areas so that better soil stability is met than just the hay mulch. I don't know how else to word it, but. Does that make sense, Michelle? Is that fine?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, I will make a motion for a negative determination applicability for the town of Douglas water sewer, Davis and Monroe Streets, right-of-way water sewer improvements, map and lot, non-applicable, condition with specification detail for the loom and the seed to be improved on buffer zone to make a better stability soil and to use a better fiber mulcher instead of the hay mulch.
Thank you. Yep.
Second.
Motion has been made by Jim and seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Jim Forna, do you want to repeat all that?
Nope, not going to.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Messiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Good job, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yes, Samantha.
Thank you.
Let's go. No, I got all in my bag ready. We didn't even dig into the cookies yet.
It's all right. I'm sure they'll keep till the next meeting.
Am I going too fast?
No, just right. Slow and steady wins the race.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to reopen item number 5, public meeting, request for determination of applicability for Sandra Bradley, 63 Depot Street, for a new pool, map 169, lot 52. Come forward, please.
Sandra Bradley, I live at 63 Depot Street, one of the owners. My
Okay.
husband, Stephen Krasinski, is with me.
All right, thank you, Sandra. What do you have for us tonight?
We're trying to put in an above-ground pool for our grandchildren. Our youngest lives with us, he's 11 years old, autistic, ADHD, sensory, bilateral hearing loss. We had a pool at our house in Webster, which we sold in 2001, an in-ground pool there. And we're trying to have a pool to keep him in the yard and around the house, so he's not running out in the street. But we're going with an above-ground pool because we have a high water table. We're 1 to 2 feet, so we can't do an in-ground pool here. Trying to put it in the best location. There was a previous pool on the property many years ago when the Mathers owned the property. And they took it out after their grandchildren and children grew up. They put a koi pond or a fish pond in there
Uh-huh.
in one area, and we can't use that.
Can't use the fish pond for the pool, huh?
No, that's to swim. A greenhouse and a woodshed in the backyard, and there's electrical going to the greenhouse, which was removed when we purchased the property in January of 2022. Electrical is still there. The son took the greenhouse, but the beds were still there, all the concrete was still there, the platform or the pad for the woodshed was still there. We did pull that out. So I want to keep it in that area. We have about a 12 to 14 inch variance in height from one end of the yard to where the end of the pool would be. So I put cinder blocks around, said to go 1 foot on each side of the pool. And we put the sand down there already, but it's still not level, so we've got issues with it. We have a big slope in the back that comes down. And can't put the pool in that area, can't put it in the koi pond, can't put it in the raspberry patch. So that's our only location that we can put the pool into for him.
You were able to look at it,
Yep.
Samantha?
I have a picture up behind me showing the existing area of where the pool would be. I know I talked about this a little bit last time, but it's all with an existing lawn. The only comment I forgot to mention was having some type of pump out area for the pool, rather than just putting your hose down into the yard, say, I don't know where it would be, but towards the wetland. We want to avoid having any of that chlorinated water going towards your wetland. So we always recommend doing some type of, like, kind of just like a hole to be able to put the water in. I don't know exactly how you go about that necessarily, but that's what we recommend, is some type of area.
We have, where the koi ponds are, the first one has the frogs and the fish in it. The second one is still dug out, but the pond has been pulled out, and we're going to put it back in. It could go in there, or I have the blue bins that come from the water and sewage department for the chemicals. We have about 4 or 5 of those in the yard, and those can be reused. They are still sealed with covers, and I can get more with no problem.
Okay.
So it would be held in there and then filtered and put back into the pool for the winter time. And that's the only time we really drain the pool.
Okay.
Is in the winter. We have to bring it down below the skimmer level.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that method. I think Brandon has mentioned in the past just allowing it to percolate back into the ground, but if you prefer to do that, I mean, I wouldn't have any opposition to that. So that was the only thing we would have. Other than that, we recommend a negative determination for this one.
Were you able to estimate how far we are from the wetlands?
We're over 50 feet. I wasn't able to get back there.
If you follow along our fence line,
Yeah.
we had to switch from stockade fencing to chain link because of the water.
Okay.
And that's where I was hitting water at 1 foot, almost 2 foot level. So we switched there. And our neighbor was complaining that the water was draining from our property into hers as it came down the incline. So we have put a compost pile back there to create that berm along there so that the water doesn't run over into her property. I didn't want to have an issue.
I mean, looking at the map, it looks like a long ways from the wetland, but you think it might be as close as 50 feet,
It
huh?
could be a little over 50 feet. Again, I wasn't able to get back there past this fence to get an auger in the ground and to really take a close look at it. But it's probably somewhere in that area past the fence there.
Mhm.
It's an odd-shaped lot.
As is your neighbor's lot.
Yes.
That's odd shape as well.
And they're really, really nice neighbors. That's why we went with the chain link fence across the back. She's an artist, and he's confined to bed and wheelchair. And for her to be able to see all the animals, the deer and the beaver, we have meerkats that go back there, just watch all the birds and stuff. So we put the chain link up, because we have 4 dogs, 4 service dogs, and we wanted her to be able to see everything there that's going on. We've got some falcons, woodpeckers, big ones, little ones. They're all in the back.
So Samantha, so either for when you're draining the pool to be stored in containers, or what else?
So basically what Brandon, it's like not like a cesspool, but just some type of ability to put the water, just have it go back into the ground to be able to infiltrate back into the ground,
Like a
rather
drywall?
than just putting it straight, like your
Oh, I
hose going
gotcha.
out, dumping
So it
straight
could
across your
slowly
lawn
go
towards
into
the
the lawn.
wetland.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not acceptable.
But, I mean, the container method, if she's willing to do that, to hold it in the container and then just reuse the water, I can't see any problem with that necessarily. I mean, if it's getting dumped out close to the wetland, I would be opposed to that, but
Definitely. That's an issue.
I don't see an issue with that.
Okay. I was just curious,
Yeah.
I didn't hear of that before.
We should just say that the pool outfall shouldn't be done, shouldn't be close to the wetlands or whatever.
Okay.
or should be towards the wetlands.
Well, if there was like a dry well or something, that's okay.
Yeah, and that's the idea that I've been told, that it's more like a dry well kind of situation where you just empty the pool out into that rather than,
Rather than letting it flow down.
yeah, exactly.
There was one on the property originally, and it got covered over in the 50s or 60s. And it's right, if you see that stone there, it's about 10 feet in front of it. And when we got there, it was a depression, and we've been gradually filling it in so that we don't have problems with the well, or the, whatever it was used for, but it was all dry at the time. Right in front of the chicken coop.
Is that, good? I don't know if this is even relevant, but is it a saltwater pool or a,
We
okay,
use chlorine. I
Okay.
don't care for bromine, and salt tends to make the skin very soft and slippery. And if there's any issues, friends of ours, we used to live in Arizona. We had an 800-acre property in Arizona that we took care of. And some had salt water, some had the bromine. We prefer the chlorine. It's much easier. And pools and Hughes up in Worcester by the Elks, they sell the liquid chlorine. It's much easier to handle and to control it, too. It doesn't burn off as easily as the tablets. We've had pools since 1985 for the kids.
Any comments from anyone in the audience or on Zoom?
If I could mention one more thing. if you
Sure.
don't mind. I forgot about, when Brandon and I had a conversation, the fence, did you ever put an RDA application in for the fence itself to go back there? How long has the fence been there? Has it been there for a long time?
No, we put that fence in
Okay.
2022. I did pull a building permit for it.
Okay, but not through conservation?
No,
Okay,
no, I just went through the building department.
okay. I definitely would recommend in this scenario doing kind of this, similar to what we did before, since the fence, if anything, is probably closer to the wetland than the proposed pool is. So I would probably include that if the commission wanted to in this RDA as well as an after the fact.
Do we want to do that?
I'm okay with that. Are you? I mean, it's already been done.
Yep.
Okay.
What is it you'd like me to do?
2022?
What we're going to do, for what?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the,
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
it,
sorry.
no. So because that fence is, from our understanding, closer to the wetland than what your proposed pool is, an activity like that with a fence should have come through the commission in the first place. So what we're going to do right now, if the commission wishes, is we call it an after the fact. So we're going to include your fence in this RDA. You don't have to do anything different, but we'll include the fence in the RDA just so you have it on the record that that fence was approved by the commission.
It was supposed to be all stockade going down.
Yeah.
But the minute we hit water, we switched over to just
Yeah.
pipe going in instead of having the wood that could rot out and decompose.
Yeah. Either way, either type of fence, it would have to go through the commission first. So anything, just so you know, for the future, anything that you do along that level back there, if you're installing anything, driving anything into the ground, whatever it may be, just make sure you go through the commission for that. But yeah, so if you'd like to include that, we can do that as well.
Yep, we can do that. All right. I will close the public meeting and
Make a motion.
make a motion.
For a negative determination for 63 Depot Street, map 1, 69, lot 52, for the above-ground pool, with the condition of the hold-on water when draining the pool to be stored in containers and/or it to be drained naturally and not to flow directly into the wetlands. We will also include the fence that has been there since 2022.
A second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Marks, aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Do we have anything for Lake Shore?
No.
Is the DP ever going to get back to us?
I can try again to reach out. I think I reached out once. I think Brandon then tried to reach out again.
I did email them and call her, and I have not heard back either.
Oh, good day.
Okay, so
right.
I will keep trying.
That's all right. Do we need to just make a motion? Okay.
You don't have to do anything.
All right, sweet.
Bob is on the line if we want to let him know, maybe, that there's nothing. Bob Moran.
Bob, could you hear that?
Sort of. I wasn't sure you were talking about Lakeshore Drive, but I think I understand it now. So nothing new, no change?
Nothing new, so I'm going to attempt to reach out to DEP again, even though several of us have reached out. We have heard nothing back from them yet. So it's just the waiting game still.
Fair enough. And I have nothing, nothing has changed here, other than construction continues on Lakeshore Drive, but I think you know that.
Right. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Any questions for me?
Nope, nothing.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, item 7, request for certificate of compliance. Continued DEP number 143-1044, Joseph Taylor, adjacent to Wallace Street parking area, map 184, lot 2. Open, it's a continuation, so I can just open it, right?
You don't even have to open it.
No.
So.
Anyone here for this project?
Becky is.
Want me up there, or?
Sure. Come join us, Becky. Oh, now I remember what it is. Sorry.
Hopefully Margaret sent the letter in.
All right, yes, at their last meeting, we were all set with it, other than the fact that we did not have a letter from the engineer stating that it was done in compliance with the notice of intent. And we now have a letter that says, "Dear Commission members, on behalf of the applicant, via CDRA, we are requesting a certificate of compliance. In March 2025, a visual inspection was conducted to review the trail improvements that were constructed by the Department of Conservation and Recreation. It appears that the trail alignment was modified slightly in an effort to minimize the tree removal, but overall, the constructed trail realignment is within the acceptable limits of the permitted plan. Sincerely, Margaret Bacon, Principal, Bay State Trail Riders, were copied on that. So, thank you very much. Any questions from board members? All right. Close the public hearing. Do we have to do that? Yeah, we should do it. I will close the public meeting. you want to make a motion
Yep.
to reissue the certificate of compliance?
I will make a motion for certificate of compliance for DEP 143-1044, adjacent to Wallace Street, parking area, map 184, lot 52.
No, just Lot 2.
Lot 2, sorry.
It's all right. Your second?
Second.
Seconded by Mike. Roll call vote?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your help. Next up, item 8, request for certificate of compliance, DEP, number 143-0373, Sean and Tammy Casper, 42 Conservation Drive, map 145, lot 18. And they're on the agenda twice for the same thing.
Yeah, there's 2 separate orders of conditions, which is why it's separated.
Okay? Yeah, please come forward.
Which I'm a little confused by the two, but I think that the first one was when the neighborhood was built.
Do you mind
possibly?
just stating your name?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Tammy Casper,
Thank you.
And your address.
42 Conservation Drive.
Okay.
Thanks, Tammy.
So, through the chair, from my understanding of this one, the 0373, I believe is for the original house being built. My confusion, I have confusion on this one as well. I'm going to bring up the original site plan just so you can see. There was a COC, a certificate of compliance, that was put in the file for this one. So I don't know if this already got a certificate of compliance at some point. I have the plans up. So this is for the proposed dwelling. So this is the original site plan for it. So I've got a recorded COC with incorrect book and page number. So I have a certificate of compliance for this one. So I'm just going to bring it up so the commission can see. So, yeah, it's the 0373.
What happened?
Someone has a raised hand up
Can you-
there.
Oh, it could be the engineer.
John Federico?
I don't see what she-
John, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. Sorry about that, folks. So just for the record, John Federico with Gurrier and Hellman. Our office has looked into this a little bit, and from what we can see that had occurred, the house was originally, I believe, constructed, or at least the notice of intent was filed back in like the late 90s. I want to say it was like 98, 99 range. And then shortly after that, they did come in for an amended order of conditions. Based on our review of things, it just appears that the wrong order of conditions was referenced in the COC, but the amended order essentially did amend what the original file number was. So I think this would be more of an administrative update versus really having to re-vote on anything. Everything as far as the amended order goes, we did have, or I'm not sure if it was our office that completed it, but at least in our review, some type of as-built was submitted for those. And at the time, the commission that was reviewing it did approve any of the noted as-built items on there.
Thank you.
So if I, through the chair, so for this 0373, for the certificate of compliance, the one that I have up on the screen currently, does this have the incorrect order referenced? Do you know, are you aware if this is the one that was incorrectly referenced? Because this is the one the town has on file currently.
From my understanding, the book and page that's referenced here is for the amended order of conditions. I believe somebody on the purchasing side had flagged it saying that the original orders wasn't closed out. And I think that's where the confusion may have come into play. Amended orders typically would supersede what the original orders were, but if they needed to have both documents referenced on there, this particular document in front of us tonight would just need to have the other book and page for the first order of conditions.
Okay. So from my understanding, the amended order of conditions does supersede the original order of conditions.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that there would need to be another certificate of compliance for the original one. Now, I'm not positive on that. The other thing is, for this one, for 0373, there was no request, the WPA form that is given to us, there was no request for certificate of compliance given to us for this one in particular. So without that, I don't think the commission could even approve this anyway, because there's a request for the other one, the one that we'll do next. I have that WPA form, but the WPA form for this one, I don't have it at all. I have the original plan, I have the order of conditions from 1999, I've got this recorded certificate of compliance, but I don't have the request.
Do you know what the amendment was? Do we have that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have that? Did you see the amendment?
I'm not aware of specifically what was included with the amendment. Looking at the original house plan versus what we have installed now, it could have been possibly for a bump out portion that occurred by the garage, or maybe a slightly differing location for the footprint. I do know driveway location towards the south side of the plan is relatively the same. I think this plan here did not have a little like a car bump out shown on the wetland side where our gate call out is, right by the no disturb buffer. But septic system location is all consistent. And then I know at one point there was I believe a gravel driveway on the north side. That has been removed at some point during the process. So our office didn't see it as anything substantial as far as what had occurred out there. Just something that we felt, at least again, would just be some type of administrative cleanup if the commission even deemed it as necessary. And in our opinion, we feel that the amended orders would have kind of covered any of the changes out there. And if approval was granted for it, we did not see any reason to have to go back or anything on that one.
So you're okay with us passing it over and not revoting on a certificate of compliance for one?
Yeah, in our opinion, if that's something that the commission, says that everything's in line and all orders have been closed out, if we can just get like, I don't know if that would be like an email or a possible like memo from any type of like acting agent or the chairman of the board. But just something I guess we could pass along, and Tammy, you might be able to know a little bit on your end, just something that we can pass along to the buyers to say that everything on that end has been worked out and is good there. We do not see, at least on the engineering side, any issues with what the current as-built was in any past plans we have seen.
Okay. I believe we can do that. We can provide a letter or from our, that says that we feel that we don't need to revote on it because it's already been approved.
And I would like, I'll double check with Brandon just to make sure so there's no issues going forward. If we pass it over tonight and we absolutely need to vote on it, you may have to just come back to vote on that one in particular, but I don't think it should be an issue. So we can write a memo.
Okay. Thanks. I'll now open then item 9, a request for certificate of compliance, DP number 143-0779 for Sean and Tammy Casper, 42 Conservation Drive, map 145, lot 18. So, what is this one for?
For this project here, in 2008, a notice of intent was filed.
Can you just state your name and address again? I'm sorry.
Associated pool deck. And I believe that plan also had shown a deck that was currently in construction for it. Everything, from my understanding, was completed sometime between 2008 and 2009 for the pool area. And it was just one of those items that the order was never officially closed out. So we were just cleaning up some of the lingering paperwork there. Site visit was conducted by myself, and my findings were reviewed with our PE. And the plan currently in front of you folks is the updated as-built for everything. We do note that the pool deck had expanded by about 1,000 square feet on the northern side. But we did find that the overall site was in substantial compliance with what the original design plan was. In terms of the expanded pool deck area, while we do note that it has occurred within the buffer zone, at least in terms of anything getting closer to the site, other than a short retaining wall that was put in to help hold back some of the grading there. It was essentially to what the design plan was, holding a minimum setback of 25 feet off the wetlands. Everything on site has been well stabilized. No additional disturbances outside of what's shown here for the retaining wall was done on site. So with it being in existence for so long, we did not feel that any additional measures were needed to offset any of the impacts for that pool deck.
All right, thank you. You said that the retaining wall is 23.3 feet from the wetland. What was that supposed to be? Do you know what
I believe that was the only spot where they were just outside of the 25 foot. Generally, that one corner, there only might be, a small section, call it like 10 square feet that would be within that 25 or less feet. Everything outside of that has been maintaining the 25, if not pushed back a little bit further than what previously was proposed.
Has there been any activity beyond the 23.3 feet?
No. It was just essentially maintaining the little bit of grass area up to the tree line, but that only extends a few feet past it, not that they cleared up to the wetland line or anything along those lines.
Those your pictures?
Yeah.
All right. Can you just take us through them,
Yep.
please, Sam?
So I'm in the backyard right now, looking at the patio area along the fence, and just kind of part of that retaining wall. But as we go around, you'll see the retaining wall a little bit better here.
Okay.
My comment with this one is I have the as-built plan, and I can confirm that this matches the as-built plan just by looking at it, but I don't have an original plan for this, so I have nothing to really compare to what was originally proposed for it. Other than that, it looks to be what the as-built states, so. And this is that area that seems to be, I think this is the spot where it's about 23 feet from the wetland.
Right at that corner there, and as far as everything goes, it's very well stabilized out there, maintained lawn and everything. We didn't see any signs of erosion during the site visit or anything like that. And we do note that essentially surrounding the entire patio area, pool deck, however you want to refer to it, there is a crushed stone, essentially a bed that, or a planter, I guess, if you want to call it such, that does wrap around everything. So it does have very good drainage out there. Not that there is any dirty water or anything that's getting sent off towards the wetland area.
When was the pool installed?
2008?
2008.
Wow.
Any comments?
No.
Thoughts?
Yeah. This looks like it was approved by like a who's who of Douglas conservation members.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
You have Leon Mazinski and Mary Lynn Dube, so, yeah.
Yeah. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame members.
Right?
Yeah.
I do remember them coming out and taking a little tour.
Did they really?
But,
Oh, okay.
Came out and looked
I'm good.
at everything.
Dickie Downs. All right.
Make a motion?
Well, we'll close the meeting
Okay.
if we have to. And, yeah, you want to make a motion?
Make a motion for the certificate of compliance, CP 143-0779 for 42 Conservation Drive, map 145, lot 18.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Seconded by Mike. Roll call vote?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungimai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you all so much. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
As far as everything goes, will the applicant be notified of the COC for recording purposes, or would the, I guess, an engineer or our office be notified in that case?
I give it to the town.
Okay.
So it should be, I want to say within this week or next week that it'll get to Jen. So if you contact Jen Kuchar at the town hall under conservation, she'll be able to tell you.
Okay, perfect. We'll follow up with Jen as well as the client on that, and then we'll make sure that we do get any recorded COCs back over to the town for your record.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. All right, into the others. Next up, conservation properties. An update from the Open Space Committee. Sue and Becky, please come out.
Where the hell is that? Next page. Flip it over.
Oh, break it in.
Yeah.
Opened. It has been opened.
You ready?
Okay.
Try one.
I'm going to pass it around. Here.
808 Great.
Yep.
Oh, those look good.
I gotta try one. I can't let it go without trying.
Oh,
No,
holy cow.
this might put out to dessert.
One of each.
So I finally made it out to the Keevan property yesterday and walked around. It's very pretty, really nice site. Found some trails, found a lot of beautiful stone walls. I'm not sure if those stone walls are on the Keevan property or not, but, you know, they probably are bordering it if not, so.
Jim, thank you.
It was,
Where
yeah.
did you park?
I got as close to the sign as I possibly could. I have a small car, thankfully. So, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get on to the town meeting coming up for asking for money for a parking area in there, so,
That's too bad.
yeah, it is. But, you know, we got, Margaret Bacon did a plan for the parking area and everything, just to fix, we couldn't figure out who owned the building next door and everything. We straightened that out, and basically we figured that Matt Benoit came to our meeting, the last one, and said that there's enough clearance along the side of the road to just park alongside the road, off the road. So you can get 2 cars there. We want to put, you know, there's a giant boulder in the trail opening there with the size of a Volkswagen that we wanted to get out of the way so horses could get through there and everything. It's a tight squeeze.
It is a tight squeeze. There was a lot of rope. Someone had put up like rope.
That's the right side, yeah.
That is defining the right side of it, of the easement?
Yeah.
And the little parking area at the front?
Yes,
Okay.
next, build one of that.
Yes. The parking area is pretty small.
Yeah,
Basically 25 by 25.
Yeah.
That's counting the trail easement too, so.
Right. And then how wide is the area going back to
Is
the...
it 20?
14 foot,
Yeah,
just under 15 foot wide.
just under 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
So from that rope, 15 feet over to the left. And we had planned all those big rocks, actually placing those rocks further along on the edge of the trail to define. So instead of moving those rocks, we were going to use them. delineate the trail and keep everyone on the trail off of the private property on either side.
There's some pretty big rocks there, as you said.
Yeah, that big one will just have to be.
Yeah, and it looked like they were pushed onto
I
this
think they
property
might have
from
come
the
out of the
adjacent
property on the
property.
left
Yeah,
foundation.
exactly. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Which came later. I mean, they put it there without, permission from the town to put it on town property.
Mm-hmm.
But, that was a long time ago, so. But, so yeah, Becky's made a lot of, new trail ideas. We need a bridge. We need a few bridges on these conservation lands, but.
Yeah, the Keevan properties, did you get all the way down to the brook?
Where the stone culvert crossing is? Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. So that is about the only place to cross, because Kathy and I went out there and we followed that brook all the way down to the edge of the property line, and it's a mess. It's a mess further on down. So that's like the only feasible place to cross.
Yep.
Engineer that had, the guy that had drawn up the trail plan, once you cross it, went up the hill. He actually went along the edge of the hill, along the wetlands, and crossed some more kind of wet areas. And I didn't like that crossing that he had done, so we explored a lot more in there. Getting over that stream, whether it's a bridge or whatever, or fixing that stone culvert, don't know what we're gonna do. But once we're up over that hill, the shortest place I found, just straight up over that hill, or we can do a switchback around it, is about 100 foot of like a boardwalk. Because once you get over that and up on the hill on the other side, it's beautiful up there.
Oh, is it?
Yes. It's beautiful enough to loop all the way around and come back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be phases.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
It's going to be
Sure.
lots of phases.
We've looked at other areas for, parking maybe on Vine Street, or talking to people that own the property on Vine Street. We wrote them a letter, but they never got back to us.
Okay.
So, but for now,
It looks like the land is pretty well used.
That's the thing
By the
about some of these
neighbors, I mean,
properties. Yeah, the
there was
trails
quite a
are
few
already
trails.
there.
I saw 2 deer stands. I mean, it's...
Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few years. There's a lot
Yeah.
more out there than that.
There's more than
Two dead
that.
ones.
Yep.
So, yeah.
2 dead deer out there?
It takes money to put money
I saw
to
one
do
dead
things
deer.
there. That's the problem.
Takes money to make money, yeah.
And you find the lower job here out there.
Yeah.
Skulls.
Yep.
Anyways, if you want to see my meanderings, that I've GPSed everything out there,
Oh, neat.
you are more than welcome to.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, absolutely.
If you want me to explain it to you.
Do you have more than one copy?
We'll pass this around so you can explain all the different color codes.
Those are all different GPS tracks.
Okay.
So the purple one on the other side of the brook, which we're now calling Keevan Brook because there's no name on it, is part of that was what the surveyor guy had marked for the trail.
Okay.
Where I went through that, I'm like, no. The rest of it was good, but this was not a good choice.
Mhm.
So I looped further back and came back to the beginning point. The blue one is where Kathy and I were exploring out there. We were just like checking every possible place that we could to see if we could work our way around things. And
Mm-hmm.
then that major, the one in the middle is that one that you were probably on, because that's an open trail, car roads in there and whatnot.
Yep.
There's a section that goes up to car road that goes onto private property. Just before that, if we make a little trail up to the top of that hill, it's a great. It just drops off down into the wetlands.
Mhm.
That would be a great place to put a bench for an overlook, because there's a beach stand in there. There's not that many beaches or beach trees, so just kind of a nice place to have a sitting area. If somebody wants to take a break. So that was thoughts.
I sent Jen some pictures. Did she?
Yeah, she included them.
Did she in here?
They're in the front. Of the folder, I think, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is that your puppy? So cute.
Yeah, so, I'll give it. You can tell me. So those are the boulders coming in?
Yes.
Just off to the side, there's the road.
Correct.
Right there. You can slide by the rocks, but it's really close.
Sideways, not on a horse, but.
Oh, no way.
Jump over the rock, maybe.
No, it's like,
Yes, yes.
correct. Maybe Woody Allen.
Going across that right now is absolutely wrong.
Right.
But we were out there one time, that was underwater.
See what?
You're writing? I can't see the fire, but like, you really write that?
Oh, that's a really
Impressive.
Sorry.
Actually, there's going down.
It's like I can't read it, but
This area right up here, the stone wall
very-
here, that really makes open fireway.
My wife says I write like a woman,
Oh, coming this way to the bar.
which I take as a compliment, I
no,
guess.
it is because
I meant to take a picture, then I was around.
That's the engineer in me, unfortunately.
This main, so this is established trail already in here.
So this is the entrance over here, right?
I tried to resist the cookies, but I can't.
So
Can
this
you
is,
toss me one?
East Beacon.
she would like some keys.
We have like it's not.
The neighbors have been walking down.
I resisted the first time around, but
They're so good.
And this car road goes on the private.
Looks like that could be macadamia
It
there, or
does look like
butterscotch, I
that.
don't know.
Oh,
I think
This
it's
was
macadamia.
approved
How do you say no? Oh,
eventually to get across. This is where
chocolate
that
chunk,
culvert is.
oatmeal raisin,
Picture of.
turtle brownie, and
Oh.
white chocolate macadamia.
Way up in there.
That's
Turtle
the turtle
brownie.
Yeah.
This is where we were, Kathy and I were.
Going around again.
checking out the- This is all Highland up here. Coming down.
Twist my arm.
Yeah.
One of these.
You got no chance of those coming back.
Probably right about this area right here would have to be a boardwalk. So a boardwalk there, maybe fix a stone culvert, a bridge down there somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
So do you guys have a budget? I don't,
We have
Yeah, it's about
$300.
300?
Have some.
That's more than us.
Oh,
But
no. Did you
We
look
have,
at,
it's in the, it's in the.
did you look at
I did, I
the
saw
town
that.
report?
How much does it say?
It was,
5,000.
That's right.
It was
Wait,
in there?
really?
I
No.
didn't see it in there.
They
no,
allocated
it was 6,000.
Seriously?
Well, where was it
6,000
listed in there? I
on
read
top
that
of
whole
what-
thing, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's how much you're going to get this year?
That's what we're asking for.
Well,
Yeah.
it was
So that we
put in
can
there by
Get some signs and stuff.
We
Matt.
got 5,000 extra last year for the survey and everything of the Keven trails, which was kind of a waste.
Yeah, I
but-
thought your budget
Did
was...
you utilize it? Did you
Yes,
use that?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the guys that made the trail down by the water, and we're like, maybe it's dry right now. but-
Just
Right.
remember, we gotta spend it before anyone else does.
I literally read that whole thing and didn't see it in there.
No,
I did,
just
I was
in-
specifically
just in
looking
with the
for it.
budget that,
See, if
for
you
each-
blink, you miss it. It's so
Clearly.
tiny.
And I looked at conservation, and we had used like 1,700 and something for like 2 years. That was for like, probably for training and whatnot, right? And then we have a budget for it's like 7,000 for this.
Was that in the one that got mailed to us?
Yeah, it's in that one, yeah. You can look through that, yeah.
Yeah, I blew it.
Yeah.
Disappointment.
See?
But do you
What happens when you ask for more?
get money for,
Yeah.
you don't
There's
get
some,
money
there's
for
some debt exclusion in there too that I don't like.
Well,
we were talking about that later.
projects or anything like that, right? But it goes back to the town. Like a building permit kind of thing, for permits, no. Yep, but then, maybe we made a lot of money last year at the dump, collecting cans. for the Community Preservation Act, I think we made $2,500.
Wow. Wow.
That's impressive.
Good.
It's depressing.
That is impressive.
It's impressively depressing. A lot of beer swill.
Wow, that's a lot of drinking.
Oh, no.
It was well worth it. It was a good try. It was a good run. So, we've been working on the Mazinski property as well on Manchok, Mumford Street. And we saw salamanders on all the trees.
Yes.
Someone's been there. And Dick Skinner built he built a kiosk and put it up there last week. Dick Skinner
did he?
Yep. With a bulletin board and waterproof bulletin board in it and all. And we've marked out where we would like to put a bench along the river so that seniors can come up and sit by watch the river come through the tubes, whatever. And also when you approach, there's the parking area. We had the highway department come in and take a giant boulder out of the middle of the parking area, push it to the side, and flatten it out and put the hard dust down. So that's all taken care of. There's trails that go over to Manchok Road. But there's someone that we met in the woods in there one time that lives on Manchok Road and walks through there every day. And I'm not exactly sure how they access it, but it is swampy. But there's also an abandoned house.
Yes.
Tiny little house. Yes, which has been reported to be. The garage across the street was taken down by the Board of Health. Made them take that down. And if you walk around the house, which made my daughter do the other day to show her what's going to happen to her house if she doesn't do anything. But the toilet is hanging off the whole back side of the house is gone. And it's just rooms and whatever.
How far down is the house? I've gone there a few times.
It's number 142 Manchok Street.
No, I know where the Mazinski property is. I've gone in there a few times.
This is the back side that is on Manchok Street instead of Mumford Road.
This is the parking for Leo Mazinski, this is the trail.
What are those salamanders?
I'm sorry.
No, what are those salamanders that you're talking about?
The trail
trail
is marked. The trail
Very
is
nice.
marked.
Another
by-
trail.
Here's where
Really nice.
there's a house in here.
She's talking about right now.
It's abandoned.
Maybe I'm just too busy looking at
Here's
the
where
logs on the ground when I'm
trails come
talking.
in
Okay.
around like this.
Actually.
So that goes all the
He's trying to get you lost in the woods. He's hiding them around the corners. You can't see him.
If you find me,
There is
You'll never make it
there's a
out.
little green tag on the tree that goes
geez,
in.
can we get parking up here?
Yeah,
She
this
said there were salamanders on the trees. Like all
There's an awful lot of numbers here. What are these, all these numbers?
These are all the latitude and
Yeah.
longitude of every
Like, I don't know how they got up there, but
Related to all the
scaling the trees. Yeah.
Ah,
So the abandoned house is not on the Mazinski property, though, is it?
No, I'll pass this around to you.
No, I didn't know that was there.
But it's just a little notch, and it's both sides.
It's both sides.
And it's wet around it, but there might be a way in. There's a green tag on a tree that might go somewhere.
Yep.
We did see a guy in the woods there once. So,
Yep.
The red lines on that map are new proposed trails.
Yes.
I've got them flagged in my GPS that
Right.
Brandon said we were okay to do the one by the river. We're not cutting any trees. Some heavy-duty brambles in there later on, but
Yeah. It is so nice to walk along the river there. It's such a nice spot. So I like that. I like the red trail.
and then we need
Did you
to
wanna
make
see
a
this?
bridge across. I don't know if you've made the whole loop, but you go down into a little canyon and there.
Yeah, but you just hop across.
Well, not anymore because there's a couple of logs blocking everything there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The GPS locations, huh?
Dick tried it the other day. Didn't work out well.
We need to do some trimming. I mean, it was very thick with laurel and stuff through that area,
Right,
and
yeah.
it's kind of closing in on the trail a little bit. But
Yeah, and we need a dead end sign at the end of that because we've run into the owner at the driveway there.
yeah.
But, yeah, it's sort of a hop across. pass, but if the water comes up, it takes the bridge, you know, or what, so you need rope swing.
Cool.
And then if you know, you're standing at the entrance to where the trail goes into the Kaczynski property. If you look behind you across the street, it's the panhandle from the Douglas Sutton LLC project.
See this one?
Off Duval Road.
That
in
little,
Sutton.
and that goes all the way back to,
So it's, you know, you get
That
about 10
100
feet there to be able to go in all through there and end up on Conservation Drive, which
Right.
recently got another piece of
how wide
property
is-
there that has like an old canal on it.
so how
Yes.
wide is it?
Yep,
So it's interesting.
kind of neat, yeah. What's this? Oh, Sutton Douglas?
Comes another one.
So, yep. I guess what we'd like in the future is to get a better access to these, rather than like the 10-foot wide access to it is the river, you know, to this land kind of thing. That might be something we need to mention to the planning board. When people gift their, you know, like Sutton Douglas LLC could have given us a little dry land to get onto it.
Mm-hmm. And you said that's right across the street?
Yeah. We did, all the pieces of property, we marked the numbers of all the latitude and longitude of every time it been bent. So you get something like this, for like the Keven property, where all these, but it's not real accurate. It's within like 20 feet of the correct latitude, whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, how do you find your way around on Keven and know if you're on the property line or over the property line, or that, using your phone
On the other
GPS?
I use Regrid. So that shows you kind of where you are on the map. Again, you have to account for, depending, it could be 5 feet, 20 feet. But on the other side of Keven Brook, up on that high side, we actually found the boundaries were, they were marked, I think probably from the houses.
Yes.
So they were marked all in red, so we actually followed those quite a way, all the way around. We hit stone walls that were boundaries, so that was fairly easy.
So that would be something that I think that we should look to try to do over, you know, over time, is to try to get the boundaries better marked, and so that we can then feel comfortable about where the trails are, and it costs money to
That's a
have a
lot,
surveyor
yeah.
do it, but, you know, it might be something that we can get assistance with, so. That was, yeah, exactly, the Trails grant, Kate, that you,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
Showed me was a good possibility, and then when I went to the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissions meeting at Holy Cross a few months ago, you know, I went to a talk about the grants and what can be applied for, and there's a number of them out there, so.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of keep looking at that and see if we can get an application.
We
for one.
usually look at it like just 10 minutes before it's
Right.
ready or something, yeah. But
Yeah, exactly.
Procedural question. Can you apply as a conservation committee for a grant?
Yes.
Or does it have to go through the town manager?
As far as I know, we can, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not positive of that, but I'm pretty sure we can. Or maybe it's the town that applies, you know, on the recommendation of us.
Yeah, okay.
It could be that also that we put it together and then just get their signature or
Right.
something, but I'm
No.
sure they would prefer that we put it together. But
That's kind of what they said to us.
yeah.
Yeah, some of these grants, like you have to contribute a certain portion. You can't just, you know, ask
But
for 100%
it can
of
be
the
in
money.
labor, too, matched labor, so.
Exactly.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That's about it. Yeah. We were thinking of getting more, do you have any more of those those little circles?
I have
Yeah.
no idea where this came from.
Yeah. Well, that one, I put it in an envelope and sent it to you, yeah. Because I took it off a dead tree that was lying on the ground.
Yep.
Anyway, but we thought, well, Recreation has spoken out to, the commission has spoken out to a few people and said they have a bunch of money left before the end of the year, fiscal year. So we, looking at maybe a bench to ask them if they could buy us a bench to put there, or different markers of different colors to show trails.
Okay.
Like purple trail, or instead of just all the yellow.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll look around. I mean, you may know more than me, but I don't know who asked for these, who had them done, and where they came from, and if there's any more. But it's awesome.
They're metal?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like just real thin?
Yeah, actually, my daughter said that you can get these things that are, they're on springs that you wrap around the tree, so you don't have to put a nail in the tree. Those are probably pretty expensive.
What's that? Nothing on the back. No.
But something like that, that maybe with an arrow or something.
Right. Do you want it back?
Nope, you can have it.
Okay.
You're the king of conservation.
Going on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Into the file.
Use it as a template to have some others made.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're looking at Chestnut Street Conservation Land and Manchock Street, the Maryland Doobie, and the Mikowski Drive. It's a very sketchy one as well.
Yeah.
I guess there was a big bus down there last year.
Yeah, it's a truck bus, exactly. Have you...
No trespassing signs all over the place.
Is there?
Yeah.
Have you been on the Chestnut Street land?
We did. Our group walked from Walnut Street all along there, all the way to Chestnut Street along the brook. And then we were like, why didn't we leave a car here?
Mm-hmm.
It's about a mile walk back, but we hitchhiked and got a ride.
Did you?
But yeah, it's thick. We found a beaver dam to cut across. It's beautiful in there.
Is it?
Yep.
Right.
And the thing with that one is that the Thomas Drive unsuccessful low-income housing development that sits empty abuts that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a much easier access.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
Let's see what happens later on.
I'm thinking part of that property was going to go to Conservation Commission from there, which would be nice because that would put you up on the higher ground. Because as of right now, it's pretty tough going in there on that side. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah, that's what it looked like. For me, looking at the map, it looked like one side of the site is fairly wet, but the other side has some upland. Better.
And we've talked to the owner on the Walnut Street side about getting an access, because there is no access at the moment on that side. So kind of fell behind on that conversation. So we're doing stuff. That's what we're doing.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks
Yep.
for all your help.
We have a trail committee, too.
Do you want the maps?
Do you want me to make copies of these and send
Yeah,
them to the
I
commission?
like,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll do that.
Do you need the woman's contact information? Who owns that property? On Walnut Street?
We have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh, no. We've been in touch with her. She's building a few houses along there. So, ask for a tiny little
Yes,
place.
yes, please.
A lot of logging, too.
Great.
All right.
Thanks for
What-
coming in.
Ask Sue one question about the Cummings property.
Cummings?
That's the baseball, at the back of the baseball field.
Yeah, Cummings Court. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the boundary on that?
I have a map of it if you want, but
Is that,
it's a small piece that she wanted to save because she loved the birds back there, Nina Biros. And it's very interesting.
yeah,
I mean, GBI owns the field right there on the right when you take a right onto West Street, that field over there. Right.
Do they?
Between Riddlebrook and Route
Right.
16.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Right in there, so the Cummings Court property is back behind that, closer to the river, where you used to be able to cross over Cummings Court to the ball field on a bridge. Over Chino Court, or whatever it is, A Street area.
And you can't, well...
No, that bridge is gone, yeah. It might have been part of the factory or whatever that was there at one point, but, yeah, and there's owner unknown back there as well that abuts that property. There's a lot of owner unknown in this town.
I looked at that and I thought it would be nice if you could make a connection from the apartments, Riddlebrook, through Cummings Court, through the conservation land, across Cummings Court to the back of where Unibank is. There's an open, an undeveloped lot there.
Oh, yeah.
And then over to Mechanic Street. And then there's a nice lot along the river there on B Street, which I think it's owned by Jackman's.
Right, we wrote him a letter 20 years ago asking him about that. And
yeah, that would be a beautiful little river walk there.
Right, it's flat. Why don't I just put a couple of benches down there and just do it, I'd say. Because the highway department is the one that dumped that big pile there that's at the ball field end. But Jackman's response was that he would like to build a little hot dog stand there for the ball field, but it's too close to the river. It would not be permitted to begin with. But
They already have a hot dog thing over there, right? It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can never have enough hot dog stands.
Be a competing one.
Can't have a
Kids would have to
conglomerate.
run across the road. That's a really
Try
good
each
idea,
one.
right?
Right.
I'll open up a cookie stand right next to it,
there's a movie on that. Someone I know watched the movie last night. But
On hot dog stand?
No, on,
Oh.
on Soldiers Field.
The baseball movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just came out, I guess. But, all right.
All right, thank you.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not done yet, what are you doing?
Do we have to sign the last?
I don't know, you gotta ask Mr. Chairman.
What's that?
Was there anything to sign from our last?
Oh, sorry. I got behind, didn't I?
Remember you want the,
I got two here.
0779.
I thought I heard that, yeah. I was like, she didn't get out of the morning.
Isn't that's the wrong one?
Yeah, but we did this one too.
No, I thought we weren't.
One of them we weren't doing.
We weren't doing that one.
We did this one.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
the
Taylor.
Wallace Street one.
This
That's
is
the other
the-
one.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
All right.
Pointing at me?
I'm just ignoring you over here.
Oh. No more cookies for you.
Oh, Mark's got the upper hand.
I
He's got-
have
is
the
next to
cookies.
me,
I'm guarding the cookies.
You have to get through him to get to the cookies, technically.
He can have them all.
Coming back around, Kate. They're coming back around, Kate.
I can't.
Did you try it? There's an
Oh,
oatmeal raisin in there.
I know who might want them.
Mike,
Could have one of each, Mike. There's a lot of them in there.
he's a hitter. He's gonna take
All right.
Can I have one of these?
Next on the agenda
Those are good. Those are Mac-
is
anyone.
mail.
One of these.
DCR notice of proposed
I'm really
acquisition of
stuffed
land.
now.
Parcel 255-1.
That way.
All right.
You know what that's, Sam?
I know there's something from DCR
Sorry.
in your packet here, behind, it's right after mail. It said DCR is considering acquiring approximately 11 acres of forested land located easterly off High Street by the Douglas State Forest in the town of Douglas, or other interests in such land.
So do we just vote yes, and then it's ours?
I think, is it theirs, or like, are they trying to purchase conservation land? Considering acquiring,
Oh, yeah, it's not tomorrow.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna be,
oh, it will be protected conservation and recreational.
I suppose this is
Well,
just you
that's good.
signing off on
That's adjacent
that.
to the state forest,
Yeah.
so. Oh, and it gives an access from Hilltop, looks like, maybe, to get to the state forest land.
Yep.
Okay. Great. I don't think we have to respond, right?
It does, it says possible votes,
So, oh, possible
so
vote.
maybe you can just vote to approve
Make a motion to approve
the DCR
DCR.
acquisition of the land off High Street.
Sure, make a motion to approve the acquisition off of High Street.
By DCR for conservation.
Yes.
Second?
A second.
Roll call vote?
Jim Farn, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Okay.
That was easy. And orders are signed. Anybody else have any other topics they would like to discuss?
I think you pushed the minutes back as well.
I did.
Yeah.
Are you folks okay with postponing the minutes
Yes.
until the next meeting? And that way you can take them out of your binder and take them home and read them if you want? Let's do that.
Do we need to make a motion for that, or are we just going
I'll make a motion, what? No, we don't need a motion.
All right, I'm just asking, I don't know.
I think we're good.
All right. Don't forget to send that.
You and I were absent for that one, Mark, looks like.
You guys partying together?
Yeah, we were out having a good old time.
I'd like to thank Brendan at this time for the cookies and the cake.
Well,
Appreciate it.
in all fairness, full disclosure, I had nothing to do with the cookies.
No?
Nope, and it's technically, my wife made the banana bread. He brought the cookies.
Oh, Jim and Brendan. Wow. Sure. Can I try pieces of banana
Yeah.
bread?
It's a
Thank
thankless
you
job,
both.
Jim.
That's all right. Can I make a motion?
You can.
Go ahead, Josiah.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Jim Farn, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco.
Mark Mungem, aye.